Hello. Today I'm going to show you a Korean Netflix series that has been trending all over the world, titled Squid Game. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. In Squid Game, a group of 456 people from all walks of life are invited to play a series of children's games with life-threatening consequences to have a chance to win billions of won. Let's see who will be the lucky winner of this twisted game. Sung Gi-hun is a Korean male who is still living with his mother, has accumulated enormous debts with loan sharks. He stole his mother's savings to gamble in horse racing. After he won, he was chased by loan sharks and a girl stole the money he won when he accidentally pushed her while he was running away. Feeling distraught, in the train station, he was asked by a stranger to play a game of dakji for money. After playing, the stranger gives him a card, inviting Gi-hun to play games with higher stakes. Gi-hun was having second thought at first but eventually accepted and called. Gi-hun was taken by van to a mysterious location. He woke up in a dormitory-like room with other 455 players which were identified by the number on their clothes. Then there were strange masked staff and so-called frontman who are managing the games. All 455 players have financial straits which is similar to Gi-hun. The players were promised that they will be given billions of won if they win 6 games over 6 days. Together with Gi-hun, he befriends player 001, an elderly man. And among other players is his former classmate, Cho Sang-woo. He also noticed player 067, a pickpocket who stole his money. The first game is red light, green light. The game is simple. They only have to stop making movements when the girl robot turns around. If you moved, you lose and you will be gunned down on the spot. Player 324 was shot to the ground. Another player who was about to check the body was also detected. The player was seen shot by everyone and everyone now started to panic. The robot now started shooting players who are panicking. Some players are also trying to leave by running back to the entrance but were shot to death. More and more people are dying and being shot to death. Gi-hun is getting terrified but Sang-woo encouraged him to play. Gi-hun started to run but he tripped to someone's hand and was about to fall off when the robot was about to turn her head. Player 199 saved him on the nick of time before the robot detected their movement. The time was about to end but they still managed to cross the line. Everyone who failed to cross the line was shot to death. The dead bodies of those people who lost were put in a gift-like coffin and cremated underground. More than half of the players were dead in the first game, and some survivors wants to quit. On the third clause of the game's agreement is that, if the majority agree to end the games, they will go home with no earnings and the money will be distributed to the family who died on the first game. They were given a chance to vote by pressing the green and red buttons. All of the players are about to vote, starting with Gi-hun. The votes were in between since some of the players are in dire need of money. The votes now are in a tie of 100 to 100. And the last person to vote is player 001. His vote will be the decisive vote if the players will go home safely or not. He is thinking it deeply of which he would choose. But at the end, he chose not to continue the game. Each and every player were dropped off the van. They were blindfolded, tied and was stripped from their clothes when they were dropped off. Gi-hun asked for her help to untie him. He swore on his mother's life that he will never again bother her regarding the money she stole. The girl agreed and helped him untie. But once Gi-hun's hand was untied, he tried to chase her again for the money. The next morning Gi-hun went to the police station to report the incident. No one believes him. He gave the card with the number. The police tried to call the number but it was a random woman who answered. The detective who saw the familiar card sparked interest in Gi-hun since his brother also received the card. Gi-hun went back home looking for his mother. Her mother was nowhere to be found. Gi-hun then received a call from the hospital that his mother was confined. The doctor informed Gi-hun's mother is ill. Her mother should no longer work and needs an operation. Gi-hun looked at his mother in pain. Her mother then left the hospital since she doesn't have money to pay for it. Player 067 went to visit his brother in the orphanage after the game. His brother keeps insisting that he wants to be with her and their parents. Player 067 promised that she will try her best to get their parents in North Korea. Detective Hwang Jun-ho went back to the police station to ask for information on Gi-hun's phone number or address. He wants to question him regarding the card since it is linked to his brother's disappearance. As for player 199, he went back to his employer to get his unpaid wage. His boss keeps insisting that he doesn't have money left but player 199 found the envelope with bags. Player 199 attacked his boss to fight for the money he worked hard for and then the boss got into an accident. He found the money on the ground and run away. Player 067 went to the agency that is helping her to get her parents in North Korea. The agency is asking for more money from her. Player 067 threatened them that the next time she gave them money and still doesn't have her parents, she will kill them. The police went to Sang-woo's mother's store late at night to look for him. Her mother asked why they were looking for him and informed her of all the warrants against his son because of fraud. Sang-woo was drowning himself with alcohol when he heard a knock on the door. He then found a card with a new number to call, giving a chance to continue playing. Gi-hun is getting desperate for money for her mother's operation. He went to her ex-wife's current home to ask for some money. Her husband got home early and saw Gi-hun talking to his wife. Gi-hun left feeling embarrassed. Her ex-wife explained to her husband that he needed money for her mother's operation. Her ex-wife's husband chased him and offered to give him the money in exchange of him no longer bothering his family including her daughter. Gi-hun refused. Detective Hwang Jun-ho went to see Gi-hun to ask details regarding the card, but Gi-hun, disheartened, didn't provide much information. Gi-hun then saw again the card on his door. The staff gave him a chance to play once more. Desperate to help her mother on her operation, Gi-hun once more waited for the van to pick him up. Some player who decided to play once more included Sang-woo, player 199, player 067, and player 00. The detective, Jun-ho, secretly follows Gi-hun when was about to get picked up by the staff and led him to a port. The detective, Jun-ho, waited patiently for an opening to get on the van. And he successfully infiltrated. When one of the masked men checked the player, he attacked him. They fought inside the bus and the detective killed the masked man. He then used the uniform to hit among the masked staff. Once again Gi-hun woke up with the other players. They were now more prepared than before and they now started forming alliances. Gi-hun, Sang-woo, player 001, and player 199 team up. Late at night, player 067 and player 212 wanted to go to the bathroom to use each of their smuggled goods. Cigarette for player 212 and a pocket knife for player 067. Player 067 used her pocket knife to the vents and used it to check what might be the next game be. She found the masked staff in the kitchen room. Player 212 continued to distract the masked staff to buy more time. Sang-woo overheard the conversation regarding the kitchen room and asked for the details. The next game is about to begin and the players now entered a playground-like room. When Sang-woo saw the room, it reminded him of a game. Sang-woo identifies the game quickly using the information player 067 gave but does not warn his ally. On the next game, they were instructed to pick a shape between circle, triangle, star or an umbrella. Sang-woo chose the simplest one. Player 067 noticed Sang-woo and felt that he already know the game and followed him to the shape he chose, triangle. In the second game, the players are to pick a stamped shape out of a sugar honeycomb snack. Gi-hun picked the most difficult shape, an umbrella. Each player has their own strategy to carve out the shape from the honeycomb within a certain amount of time, but still being careful to avoid breaking its shape. But unfortunately for some, their shape is hard to carve. And just like any other game, whoever fails to carve the shape from the honeycomb or breaks it will also be shot to death. Another player had failed to carve out the shape and was also shot to death. As the game continues, more and more players fail in being shot at. Player 212 who smuggled a lighter used it to easily carve out the shape from her honeycomb. Some player who have easy shapes have successfully removed the shape from the honeycomb. Gi-hun who is struggling on his honeycomb taught to lick the honeycomb. In that way, the honeycomb will melt and the shape will be easier to carve out. Player 212 helped player 101 complete the game using a smuggled lighter. They were confused on what Gi-hun's strategy, but used the same strategy in the end. Gi-hun managed to complete the game even he picked the most difficult shape before the time run out. The players who didn't finish carving out the shape was also killed for failing the game. A player takes a higher ranked staff member as a hostage and forced him to remove his mask, before killing himself. The staff member was also killed by the front man since it's a ruling to never remove their mask. Jun-ho then takes the new mask of the dead staff. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.